Fire Truck Dirty Blonde.
That's new.
A Canadian punk band.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Your Brain on Hops. Pretty special episode today for two reasons. One, we're actually recording from Labatt Brewhouse in Buffalo.
Woo!
And two, we're featuring the Buffalo Brewfest, and we have a couple guests on today to talk about it. So we have Dan and then Melissa. And
How you doing?
This
Hi.
is pretty exciting. So yeah, guys, if you could talk about the event a little bit and some of the history of it as well here in Buffalo.
Sounds good. Thanks for having us. We really appreciate the opportunity to come and talk about Buffalo Brewfest now, and I think we think it's in its 19th year.
Wow.
But it's tough. There's a lot of craft beer that's flowed through people over the last few years, so we've lost count of how many years we've been doing it. But it's always a great time, and best of all, Buffalo Brewfest, it's a fundraiser for Buffalo Hearing and Speech, so all the proceeds go to support a really worthy nonprofit organization here in Buffalo, New York. So we're excited for this year for a lot of reasons.
Awesome. Now, how long have you been doing it at the Riverworks location?
So that's really interesting. Location is a great thing to talk about, and where we are right now at the Labatt Brewhouse on Illinois Street is very important because for many years we did it at the what is now the KeyBank Center, which is where the Buffalo Sabres and the Bandits play, which is right around the corner from here. It's a block away. So we did there for a number of years inside, sometimes in the plaza. It was always well attended, and it was a good event. But then we had the idea a few years ago to try it on Illinois Street, actually make it a street party. So Buffalo Ironworks, which is right behind us here at Labatt Brewhouse, was sort of our home base, but we would put all the brewers lined up along Illinois Street. And it was great. If you got a nice night like tonight, which is, nice 74, 75 degrees, which we did, it was a blast. It was a great street party, and we always had awesome participation by the brewers, a lot of good craft beer. So we did it here for 3 years, and then we figured, our luck's going to run out one of these nights, and we don't want to spring for tents because it would eat away all of our profits that should go to Buffalo Hearing and Speech. So we actually, out of luck, had the opportunity to host it at Riverworks, and they've been very accommodating. They're one of our sponsors. They allow us to host our event there. We have full coverage, a lot of good infrastructure, and they're just great partners. So we've been there now this is our third year, and they give us their whole main floor, so it's really a great setup for the brewers to set their taps up, and it's also great for the attendees to be able to really, in a snapshot, see all the brewers and really kind of move around. And because the point is, it's a sampling event, so we want people to try as much stuff as they can, and the setup at Riverworks really allows us to do that.
Cool. Definitely. Some of the setups for Beer Fest that I've been to, it's not ideal. It's almost like you forget about some of the booths, and that's some of the beer you really want to try. So that kind of wide open setup that Riverworks allows, that is pretty great for this kind of festival.
Yeah, we've made some of those mistakes at Brewfest too. Like a couple of times when we'd have it at the arena, if we didn't want to go in the plaza because, again, we had the threat of rain, we would set up inside. And you'd have the main pavilion floor, if you've ever been there, where you walk in and it's that large atrium right before the escalators. Yeah. And then on the second floor, we would have brewers going down the hallway. But if you didn't know that, you'd miss a whole section of it. It was not a good situation. It wasn't a perfect situation. Riverworks is a much better setup. I mean, it was designed as an event center, and that's exactly what we needed.
It's a great venue for a lot of things. I've gone there for a concert actually with Logan, our producer, once, and it's just such a cool place to go to with all the different levels, the arcade games, the food, everything. So,
who did you see?
Every Time I Die, their Christmas show, Tid the Season they call it. It was awesome.
Nice.
So yeah, it's the band we listened to for some time now, but to see them at Riverworks was pretty special. But yeah, I'm excited to go try some beer there too. Besides, I've had their beer, but to have all these, we got tons of places to try, from Buffalo Brewing Company to Labatt Brewhouse from right here to a place called In the Mix Brewing and Creamery. I wonder if they'll have any of the creamery there, just the brewing. What do you think?
If they don't have a cream ale, I'll be kind of disappointed.
That would be disappointing.
Yeah, actually, looking over this list, and it's an impressive list this year. It's 50 plus, I think you were saying.
Yep.
That's pretty nice. There's a lot of newer. Well, I don't even know newer, just new names for me at least. Seeing on here.
We work pretty hard to make sure we get some of the old favorites, but also get some new blood in there every year. just because we know people want to try something different. There's always new craft breweries starting up. But what's neat is that, we might have 40, 45, 50 breweries, but we've got 2 or 3 selections from each one. So you really have a great opportunity to try something and find something you like. And plus, the brewers show up or the reps are there and they can really talk about, their particular beers. And it ends up being a lot of fun.
Yeah, just looking through this list, One-Eyed Cat, Nostrovia, like Tim mentioned, in the mix.
Steelbound. That was when we left out of our Buffalo beer bracket.
Yeah, they gave you some shit for that.
They did. I had 36 on the list, and I missed 37.
Naturally, Labatt Brewhouse, where we're recording from right now, they'll be there as well, so that's neat.
Yeah, Old Favors Flying Bison.
Yep. Always
yes, they're back.
Yeah.
It's interesting with Labatt Brewhouse. They have their tap room up front. So now I think they got that stuff figured out and they're rolling. So it was neat that they wanted to participate this year. It's a favorite, and we're just glad that brewers want to make the effort to come out and be a part of it.
Mm-hmm. Definitely, yeah, and that's really neat. I mean, in the Buffalo area, every year we add at least a couple new breweries or cideries or something in the craft industry. So the fact that they're enjoying these kind of community events and coming out to it, and that the list keeps growing year over year to the point where we are at 50 plus brewers and vendors, that's pretty great.
Yeah, and we've done the math a couple of times on it's a $35 ticket for this event advance, $45 the day of, but you get 20 tasting coupons, and each sample is about 3.5 ounces.
It's a good amount of beer.
Yeah, it's a good amount of beer. So we always try and provide value. Mm-hmm. But just having the selection, there's something there. You get a souvenir glass, and it's just a great thing to do with a bunch of friends, people that can appreciate it. But even if you're like a newbie to the craft beer, this is a great opportunity for you to just sample and find something you like. An IPA may not be right for you, but there's so much variety now. Like, Melissa, what are you having there today? What is that?
This is the Pink Flamingo.
Pink Flamingo.
It's very good. Very good.
Can have it
sour,
on your front
but
lawn.
good.
Sorry, that was bad.
I'll be adding the tap later to my house.
So the names are great, but the beer flavors are awesome too. A lot of fun.
One of the things I mentioned earlier to Logan is that whenever I hear someone say, I don't really like beer, and that's been my mother for years, always said she hates beer, never will try it, she'll try it, she'll never like it. And then just last night, we were over at a restaurant in Lancaster, and they had the K2 Brewing Sour IPA, which had a lot of like rhubarb and strawberry to it, and it was I loved it, and I said, this is different. And she looked at me, she's like, it does look it was red. She's like, it does look different. And she tried it. She goes, the look on her face, that oh my god dawning of, I really like this. And I said, you can get a glass. And whenever I hear that, I don't like beer, it's always challenge accepted.
Yeah,
gotta find something. And the Brewfest is perfect for that.
Absolutely. And I mean, a lot of breweries will, of course, come up with their flagships, 5 or 6 beers that are typically an IPA or 2, porter or stout, something like that. But just the fact that so many breweries, especially local breweries around here, have their flagships, and then they also have another half dozen or a dozen other taps, just experimenting with other certain stuff, sours, some lighter pale ales. It really is hard to find something at a craft brewery that you're not going to like.
Yeah, it's true.
Exactly.
Well, I know that some of the brewers will use it as an opportunity, especially if the timing is right, to launch a new beer, to introduce it, just to kind of get almost like a test on how people would react to it. So that's really, you might come across something special that you might not have a chance to get anywhere else, just because they'll have a special keg or a half barrel for you here. We've got one ale that's really cool. I don't know if you guys have heard of Sullivan's, but it's from Kilkenny, Ireland.
Okay.
These guys came over a few years ago. They launched in Buffalo. The history of the brewery is that it was a 300-year-old brewery from Kilkenny, and at one point in time, they lost the brewery. The Sullivan family lost the brewery because one of the Sullivans lost a bet. And the only way to pay the bet was to sell the brewery. Oof. So he sold off the assets, closed up shop. But
true story.
The Smittyk family, if you're familiar with Smittyks, they sold their brand to Guinness in '65, I think. But they stayed in the brewing business, in the beer business. Some of the Smittyks started up Sullivan's again. So fast forward, they launched in Buffalo. Now they're in where are they? They're in Cleveland, Erie, Rochester, Syracuse, Saratoga. But they'll be there at Brewfest with their Irish Maltings, their Maltings Red Ale, which actually won Best Ale in the world at some competition last year. So it's a great beer. I've had it, and I think they're coming with something new too. So we kind of get that local mix, some regionals, and then we've got some of these international guys that are coming
And
in.
what brewery was that?
This was Sullivan's Brewing Company out of Kilkenny, Ireland.
So come to Buffalo Brewfest and you can try one of the best beers in the world.
That's the hell of the world.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Sorry, go
I
ahead.
would say it's really good.
All
Really
right.
good.
I got to ask, we're getting close here. We're recording on, Monday the week of, but where can you still get tickets for this event as of right now?
You can get it online at buffalobrewfest.org. So right now, general admission tickets are available $35 advanced, and then VIP is available for $75 advanced.
Okay. And what's in that VIP beer garden?
Oh, VIP. So
Gotta
I'm glad you asked.
Get your own palanquin to carry you around.
A couple of years ago, we introduced the VIP just because the Brewfest really was about sampling beer, and people were like, "Oh, can I get some food?" And at the KeyBank Center, a great venue for hockey and stuff, they really didn't have their full food concessions going. So what we're able to do at Riverworks is we set up a VIP section, so there's going to be food available, reserved seating. So if you want to go there and you don't want to blitzkrieg all the all the brewer stations, you want to take a little more relaxed period. It's reserved seating. There's actually beer service, which means you can look at your map that we give everybody and tell the servers who are volunteers which beer you'd like, and they'll go get it for you. So it's really
Beer runners.
Wow.
Beer runners.
That's a thing.
Gotta have those wherever we go.
Yeah, right. You can bring your own personal beer runners every pub and bar you go to.
Boy, get me a drink.
So they do that, and then there's actually there's usually like a reserve stock of craft beer that you can't get downstairs.
Okay.
So there's
VIP
sort of
beer.
a nice,
Yeah, all right.
So it's a great way to experience Brewfest because you can go downstairs and do as much as you want, and then you come upstairs, relax, have something to eat, try some really fancy, exotic craft beers, and then go back downstairs.
Nice.
So yeah.
Which I believe are a little bit higher percentage as well. Some of them.
So the people in the VIP should also have a DD.
Yeah,
Yes.
and,
DD for the VIP.
That's a great
Yes.
point because you can get, and we've seen a spike in this. We have a $35 general admission advance, and that's 45 day of, 75 VPI, 85 day of, and then we also have a designated driver ticket, and there's no charge for that.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah, so we figured people should either ride share or have a DD. So we make it
Yes.
real easy for you to be DD. Thing is, though, you got to honor the system. If you're coming in as a DD, you're going to get a different color wristband. You're not getting a glass.
And they
You
will
can
be
get-
checking it.
yeah,
They will
you-
be IDing at the door
You-
and
okay.
checking.
You
and
can have all the water and soda you'd like, or iced tea, but you can't have any of the beer. So
But that's great that you offer it for free because I've gone to a number of beer events where oh yeah, the DD pass is 50. Like, why are you paying $15 for what? I can get a free water.
right.
So yes, the fact that you offer it for free is that's really great.
Yeah, so we've seen a few people take advantage, and we're happy to do that. I think it's a responsible thing to do.
Yeah.
If you have a friend going and you're a fan of macro brew soda, hey, you get a free
That's
admission.
right.
That's
Get
pretty
some
nice.
root beer.
Yeah, you
Oh,
can.
wow.
Yeah, they'll give you, and that's Riverworks. That was one of the things that they said. Yeah, we're happy to do that. So,
Awesome. Kudos to Riverworks.
So
Yeah.
speaking of Riverworks, are they going to have their food in their kitchens going, or is there going to be food trucks there?
that's what's great about Riverworks. I mean, it's designed as an event venue, so they'll be open for business, like with their Friday night crowd in the summer. So we expect that their dockside business will be going, and they're able to accommodate that. And then they'll give us their main floor and the upstairs, and that'll be our Brewfest area. So people that go there for dinner, they'll see Brewfest is going on. If they want to buy a ticket, come on in. We got a
That's
great
cool.
party for you. So yeah, so their kitchen will be open. There'll be whatever people want to do. If they want to go to Brewfest and then go hang out by the water, go take a tiki boat ride, whatever, it's all open.
There's a built-in after party to the
Yeah.
festival.
Yes,
really.
yes.
Well,
Thing sells
speaking
itself.
of the after party, this is really interesting because it's also the same night that Cobblestone Live, the music festival, kicks off. So you can go to Brewfest from 5 to 9:30, have some tremendous craft beer, really start the night off right, and then you walk maybe
Uber.
a half a mile, and you can go to Cobblestone Live and hear some great music all night.
That's
So,
cool.
Yeah, so it's a nice compliment.
Wow.
Or you could stay at Riverworks and
Yeah. Oh yeah.
have another cocktail.
Some
or-
curling?
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Or-
It's probably
Hear
closed.
hear the music in the distance,
Right.
I suppose.
Yeah. Right.
Right.
Can't be that far away.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. And I mean, the area in general, like you said, probably half-mile walk, I guess at the most.
Yeah.
And there's just a lot in this area. I mean, obviously you have Labatt Brewhouse where we are. Cobblestone Live will be going on. Lockhouse Distillery,
Yep.
Ballyhoo.
Yep.
So yeah, a lot of good places afterwards.
I think there's actually a concert at Canalside that night too. So
Jeez.
this whole area will be just jumping. It's a
Yeah.
great
Wow.
great time to come down here and be a part of it.
Absolutely. How many people are you expecting, like total crowd size, or do you know yet?
We usually do a pretty good walk-up, like the day of. Some years we've had as many as 1,500. Wow. We're thinking somewhere between 700 to 1,000 people should come out. We know we'll be comfortable to have that amount of people.
All right.
What's great is that if you get your advance tickets, you save $10.
Yeah, that's true.
And you also save any wait. Because once at 5 o'clock, there's usually a line to get in.
Oh yeah.
So we try and get everybody in, and then the taps will open at 5:30, so people can get take advantage of that full time. So if you want to go, it's just better to get an advance ticket, and that way you're in half an hour early.
Yeah, just hop online and buy it. I mean, simple enough.
Yeah, still available.
So what's your favorite part of a beer festival in general? Like, do you stick to, so do you guys get to partake in the beer event yourselves? Will you be around for people to drink with? Or are you going to be just behind the scenes?
Oh, yes. I mean, we help out and we set up, but we have our wristbands too, and we're walking around. We have our friends that come out, but we're always Dan's always kind of on the outside scoping, making sure everything's going right. And
you guys sneaking into the VIP section?
Oh, we don't have to sneak in.
All right.
We're pretty upfront about that.
We have all the wristbands on. You'll notice us walking around. But yeah, no, it's a good time. I think the best thing for me is just seeing everyone. It's summertime in Buffalo, and everyone's out enjoying themselves, and beer's flowing.
Which that alone is awesome, because I just this goes a little bit about myself. I moved back to Buffalo from Maryland after being there for 6 years, and just to come back, and the beer scene is hopping here, and it's awesome, and the beer is good,
hopping,
and as you say, it's flowing. It's really cool to be a part of it and be a part of just a podcast, and now your event, which is awesome. Yeah. So cool.
Probably scope out some fruity sours beforehand, so you know where to go.
Oh yes, I always know which ones. My one friend, I always ask her because she knows what beer I like. I'm like, which one will I like? She's like, you'll like this one, not that one. So I always want her present.
It's good to have those kind of friends.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I see New York Beer Product on here. If they have their Supernatural on tap, I would recommend that sour. It's really good.
Absolutely, yeah.
I guess that's one of the other great parts about this is that you do get to meet some really cool people, the brewers. A lot of them are startups, so there's a lot of passion there about their it's a labor of love for them, and they really want to share it. So just talking to the brewers, you're talking to the people that are got their heart and soul in their beers. So that's
they're
really
invested,
neat for us. And as a enthusiast, if you come into the Brewfest, you get a chance to talk to these people, and it's really cool.
Now, one more curious question. The sample glasses that you're providing for the event, what style of glass are they? Is it a traditional taster glass? Is it a thin and tall glass? A tulip style? What are we looking at?
So we used to use a mini Pilsner, and then those got too expensive.
Okay.
They're really cool, but they got too expensive. Because I think there's something with the whole glass industry that there's a little cartelish about it. I don't know, but I don't want to dig too deep on that one.
Might not come back from
exactly
that.
Right.
You do not want to upset the glass cartels.
My name is not Dan. It's Bill. But
those guys in Corning.
My name's Sarah.
But we had these cool little mini Pilsners. But we have it's like a mini version. What kind of style? What style of glass is that?
I usually call it like a Sam Adams glass. Like a glass,
they're like mini Sam Adams glasses. Then.
Okay.
They're like 3.5 to 4 ounces, and you get a 3-ounce pour with each sample, and you got 20 of those. Mm-hmm. So, and it's real glass, so it's not a plastic cup. It's awesome. It's a nice souvenir glass.
That's 60 ounces of beer, right? If my math is correct.
Yes, it is.
I teach social studies, not math, guys.
Yeah.
All right, don't hate.
70 if you're going with 3.5.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
So that's like a big gulp of craft beer, right? Isn't a big gulp 60 ounces at 7-Eleven?
It might be. Yeah, same here.
Which is a complete misnomer. It's more than a gulp.
Oh, yeah.
I know some friends who would go crazy if you put 70 ounces of craft bear in one of those.
Well,
you definitely notice it throughout the night.
Yeah, the DD line.
You'll start hearing the glasses break and.
You'd see the Uber line would be down the road.
Yeah.
At least you hope.
You could just get a big gulp and then do a Lasertron special with it.
Oh
just go around to every booth.
That's awesome. Lasertron.
You might not want to finish 70 ounces of it.
Right,
but.
No. All right, so for our non-beer drinking crowd, because there are always some people that tag along, whether they're on a date or whatever, or they're just going along and they try a couple beers, like they want to sample, like you said, but they realize, you know what, beer's still not my thing.
It's a great first date opportunity. Any of you craft beer drinkers out there, if you have a first date planned for Friday,
get on eHarmony, find someone that's willing. I'm just kidding.
Right, you get a flight of beer, so there's a little sample for everything.
Yeah, but if they don't like the beer, is there any other options that still have alcohol in it that they could try?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it's funny because we heard over time that some people said, well, my wife really likes wine, or she doesn't like beer, or he doesn't like beer. So this year we've got a number of cideries that have come along, and some breweries are actually, they have a distillery as well. So there'll be some distillers there. There'll be some ciders there that people can try. A whole bunch of different flavors. So yeah, we try to make it something for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And even we've got some vendors which have some different stuff.
Such as?
Oh, there's going to be actually a photo booth too.
A photo booth.
Yeah, photo booth.
Well, we have one. So we have cake. It's called the Cake Boutique by Sweet Emily, and she has beer-inspired sweets.
Oh.
Simply Pierogi will be there.
Ooh.
The Bavarian Nut Company, which I think is a fan favorite because they've returned.
Everywhere. Yeah.
And then something Fidget Foods. So
Fidget Foods. It's like a fidget spinner full
You
of food.
can Google it.
yeah, I can't. I don't.
Picture what that would be.
I apologize. I don't know what that is. So just come to Brewfest and find out.
Yeah, I'll try it. Whatever it
That's
is.
pierogies, desserts, and fidgeting.
Yeah,
That's what you want.
You get fidgety because you're eating the pierogies and the sweets at the Bavarian Nut. So
Then stop at the photo booth. Trendy shop.
That's right.
Yeah. With cider, it's good because we're hitting August. We're getting close to fall,
Right.
so it's about that season for it. So it's good.
Good for you, Tim.
I'm
really trying to make that connection.
try it.
As we sit here on a beautiful 80-degree evening in Buffalo,
Still, it's
really hot
in
all
July.
day.
It's still summer.
It is, yeah. I know.
Winter
I know.
is coming.
Winter is coming.
Season 8. Oh man.
we can't get them started.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we'll keep going.
It'll go down.
So one thing I did want to ask about too, which is kind of unique for beer festivals, at least in this area, is the connection it is to raising money for an organization. So the Buffalo Hearing and Speech Center, which is something that's been connected to Brewfest for quite a while now. Talk to us a little bit about that and what that connection is and how the proceeds are used.
So many years ago, before we were involved, this is one of Buffalo's oldest, and I think maybe the first craft beer festival that was hosted. And I think from its earliest stages, they always gave money to charity, and Buffalo Hearing and Speech was fortunate to be one of the recipients. And over time, it's become sort of a sole fundraiser, or a fundraiser solely for Buffalo Hearing and Speech. So what happens is Buffalo Hearing and Speech hosts it, puts it on. A lot of volunteers, such as ourselves, we get involved to organize and put it together. And we look for a lot of support. So we've got sponsors that help us with in-kind donations. There's a lot of volunteer support. So there's over 50 volunteers that will spend their evening 4 or 5 hours just working to pull this event together. And then sponsors who provide money and other in-kind services and goods, like Chefs, for example. Chefs is going to provide the dinner for all of our volunteers.
Oh wow!
So that kind of stuff, that kind of in-kind support, the volunteer labor, that helps us
just for that dinner.
Yeah, right. Well, there's still time. We could use a 51st volunteer. It's important because the more we keep those kind of costs down, where we don't have to pay for that money goes to Buffalo Hearing and Speech Center, which is it's a 500-person non-for-profit organization that provides hearing and speech and early childhood education services, autism education services to infants, children, and adults all throughout Western New York. Mm-hmm. So, it's we used to kind of internally call it it's beers for ears when it was just hearing and speech, but it's really you're doing so much good just by buying a ticket and going to the event because all that money that we can provide to Buffalo Hearing and Speech goes a long way to support their programs and services.
Yeah, shout out to my wife Laura. She works there as a speech path. She loves loves working there.
Thank you, Laura. It's funny, and I got a story. Last year at Brewfest, I was kind of, as Melissa said, I was kind of like walking around in the background, just making sure everything was going okay. You got to make sure the brewers have ice, and that that they've got a keg coming if they're running out on something or whatever. And a guy came up to me and he stopped me. He said, "Hey guys, I just want to say that we really are grateful for Buffalo Brewfest." He said, I think he said like 10 or 12 years ago, you guys helped my son. He was having a hearing problem or speech problem, And he goes, "You changed his life, and you changed our lives. So we'll do whatever we can to support Buffalo Hearing Speech." And I went back and I told our board of directors that story of what an impact not only Buffalo Hearing Speech, but an event like Brewfest has. Not only is it a great event, but you're really doing a lot of good just by participating and supporting it. So, to me, that told me that it's time and money well spent.
Oh yeah, buy your tickets, people. This is awesome.
BuffaloBrewfest.org.
Yes.
There now.
Advance tickets, save $10.
60 to 70 ounces of beer on Friday. For
That's
that
right.
Cause.
Yeah,
For $35, you can't beat it.
Right.
No, yeah.
I just paid like $7 for like 8 ounces of beer.
All right, so something that we normally do is a segment called "What I've Been Drinking." So we can have some guests on this segment. This is exciting. So to kick it off, Dan, do you want to lead us in what you've been drinking?
What I've been drinking. All right, so I haven't been drinking this. This is yours. we just had another round show up, so we're trying to. So what I've been drinking.
Get one for you?
Yes, please.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Need my flamingo.
Yeah, we're gonna wait. No, we're not gonna wait.
No,
for it.
no. Go ahead, drink up.
You can
drink
dive
up.
in.
Cheers. So what I've been drinking for the past. Cheers.
Cheers.
What I've been drinking for the past hour or so
No, it's all right.
has been
Salud.
Labatt's. I think the Labatt grapefruit something. It's quite light for a warm night. But mostly what I've been drinking, and we were at a concert at Canal Side on Thursday, and we coined the phrase, "We got hay burned." So I've been drinking a lot of hay burner from I can't even remember the
Big Ditch.
From Big Ditch,
Brewery, yeah.
because they serve it in cans, and one's never enough, 2 or 3 are never enough. So we've been getting hay burned quite a bit.
That can be a dangerous beer because
Yes,
it's very
it is.
drinkable and it's
Yep.
in the sevens. That can go down.
It's been exactly.
Who are you seeing?
We saw the Struts.
Okay.
It was
Very cool.
I got to tell you, probably the best concert I've ever seen.
Wow.
It was, the venue is fantastic.
It is,
It was
yeah.
a gorgeous night, and these guys just absolutely killed it.
Awesome.
It's great. It's great.
Cool.
And go VIP. That was way. There was plenty of room to spread out, and they serve hay burner. So
So kicking it over to Tim, what have you been drinking?
I was very fortunate. My brother-in-law went up to Boston, and he got me some Treehouse beer. So I've been drinking the Alter Ego with the extra A's in front. Super juicy and delicious, and I've been loving it. I had, the joy and I guess not so joy of sharing a craft beer enthusiast with my wife, and she had to have half the 4-pack herself, which she also enjoyed. But there's always that extra sting of, I got a 4-pack. Oh, it's just a 2-pack for me.
We warned you
Sharing
about
is
marrying a
caring.
woman who enjoys
Sharing
craft
is caring.
beer.
I know. I was warned. And sharing is, in fact, caring. You're right. And, yeah. I did say I was willing to give her half. But I'm glad it is a nice passion to share. But, all right. Missy, you want to go?
that's nice.
Yeah, I mean, I will. I've been drinking the Trulies, and I think it's like the new pack of Trulies. It's like the citrus, which I think all women in Buffalo are loving. So I'll do a shout out to them.
That is an accurate statement.
My
yeah.
wife
But no,
also
if I'm
drinks
out to
those.
a bar, I like to, I like their any new drinks, any summery drinks. I like a little bit of sour in it, so anything with blueberry, a little vodka, lemonade, maybe. Yeah,
All right.
anything refreshing.
Yeah.
Nice.
Especially in the summer.
Yeah.
Chris, what do you got?
So I have been drinking a #SmashTag Reloaded from Old First Ward.
It's a nice name.
The Smash Tag is phenomenal, and they make it once in a while. And then I think this was a week and a half ago or so. I had the Smash Tag Reloaded. We went over there for lunch, and boy, that was excellent. They took a little bit of the haze out, which I think improved it overall. A lot more the hop profile came through rather than just classic haze bomb. Yeah, and it was still a little green. So Logan, I know you'd appreciate that.
Did you get smashed?
I got to have Smash Tag, the Smash Tag Reloaded, like a week after it came out, and I was so happy. It was so good. I kind of hope that Brian keeps it this way, because it's the same amount of alcohol. It's a little less body, but it's so much flavor. I loved it. Yeah, it was super good. And yeah, you're right. It was a little green, which I totally loved.
See, there's Logan on Christmas morning, and then there's Logan with a green fresh IPA. It's very different.
Yeah, as listeners, you can't really appreciate it, but his eyes just lit up.
Wow.
So much. Yeah, it was a great beer. And I went with a friend from work, and we got a picture of it since we were both getting it, which I recommend doing that if you're going to head over to Gene McCarthy's.
Nice.
Agreed.
All right, so we've neared the end of our episode, and I want to thank Dan and Melissa so much for taking the time
Yes,
to
thank you.
join us and talk
Our
about
pleasure.
Brewfest
Thank you
coming
for
up.
having us. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so
Anytime.
we really appreciate the opportunity. Again, it's a great event for a great cause, Buffalo Hearing Speech. It's this Friday, August 2nd. It starts at 5 o'clock, goes till 9:30. It's at Buffalo Riverworks. And you can get your advance tickets for $35, general admission, $75 VIP at buffalobrewfest.org.
It's a great start to the evening. Lots going on afterwards, after a good night of craft beer.
Yeah.
Buffalo's original. Yeah, great.
Go get your tickets.
All right, well, thanks for tuning in, everyone. Cheers.
Cheers.
Which way is her belly button?
He's very nervous, I think.
Which way is her belly button?
Which way is her belly button?
Was it facing him?
She's
She's turning away.
she's kind of like, how you doing?
That's a dead giveaway.